Oh, and here we go.
You are listening to the only show where a former police officer, alongside a current law school student, tackle politics, the legal system, and corruption. The show known around the world as Qualified Immunity.
What are you doing tomorrow?
What? I don't even know what tomorrow is. Is it Thursday?
Yeah, it is. I didn't think about that a minute. Like, is it Thursday? Yeah, it is. It's Thursday.
I'll probably have class tomorrow.
I'm going to vote.
Really?
Yeah.
Voting early?
Yeah.
Voting option?
Voting early, voting often. Yes, I am going to vote tomorrow.
Who are you voting for?
People.
Well, that's good. The robots haven't taken over. Although, if we had a dog running, I would probably vote for it.
Hold on. Wait a second. Before we dive into the entire, by the way, if you're watching the video that has the awful audio because the mics are connected to the good mics that people see in the video, they're like, I don't think your mic's working. They do. The mics are just connected to the audio podcast, and the video it's getting there. It'll get there eventually, I promise. But I am donning my favorite hat.
Are we live on YouTube?
Yeah. I'm donning my favorite hat for one reason. Last night, my Dodgers, for the first time in my little lifetime, you can ask my wife, I was up till like 4 a.m. talking about it.
I'm not surprised.
Like, according to her, I cried. I'm convinced she was cutting onions. My Dodgers won the World Series. Now, we're going to get in the story in a little bit about one of my Dodgers, who's actually one of my favorite Dodgers.
One of your Dodgers. Have you bought the baseball team?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
Somehow Magic Johnson still has more money than me. But we're going to get into a story about one of my Dodgers and something that unfolded at towards the end and the end of Game 6 of the World Series, in which the Dodgers clinched to win the World Series title and become world champions for the first time since 1988. Not that anybody was counting. I was counting.
Okay.
First time in my lifetime, Dodgers are on top. And they do it 2.5 weeks after the Lakers win another title. So, I almost said another series. So,
careful waving your arms around.
Oh, dude, it's like I'm sitting here going. I was like, the Lakers won, and then 2.5 weeks later, the Dodgers win the World Series, and I'm like, yeah, hey, you guys.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, no. If the LA Rams win the Super Bowl, you're not gonna want to be around me for probably like.
All of your favorite teams are from LA.
Yeah.
Is that why they're your favorite teams?
The Lakers and the Dodgers, yeah, because I went out there as a kid. Like my aunt was assistant dean of admissions at a major university in Southern California. So, like, the irony is, I went to OU, and it's not my favorite college football team. My favorite college football team is a team in Southern California.
Right.
I really don't have an NFL team. I just, it's the NFL.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like you when it comes to the NFL. I'm like, College football is a totally different story. But, no. What? Go ahead.
From what I've seen, college football is just better, for one thing.
See, that's my opinion. Is college football is way better than professional football.
I don't know why.
But I have been told by people in person NFL is way better than college. I don't. I've never been to an NFL game.
Well, me neither.
But yeah, I've also never been to the medieval fair.
I've not been there either.
Really?
Are you? Thanks.
Really? That's surprising.
Thanks for just
Stereotyping that shit out of you.
assuming that I'm that kind of a nerd.
Okay.
Are you interested in going to the medieval fair?
Kinda. See, the thing about it was, I was supposed to go on 2 school trips in a row.
Yeah.
Like because I grew up like 45 minutes away from it.
Right.
But baseball.
Oh, okay, I see.
But it was one of those.
I wonder if
Baseball.
they would let you carry a blunderbuss at the medieval fair.
Apparently, they let you do everything. Like there's not a lot of rules. To me, it's not
firearms.
I mean, I don't. Okay, it's Norman, Oklahoma. There's going to be a rule against firearms.
True. I mean, it's a muzzle loader.
That is not medieval unless you believe it made us gunpowder.
Then.
We're not. No.
Well.
No.
No, I'm talking about the time frame for. I mean, what do you consider medieval? Like, what's the cutoff date for the latter?
Pre-gunpowder.
Okay, that's actually fair because that is one of the qualifications for the Renaissance that most people use.
Yeah, I was like pre-gunpowder.
That's fair. Okay, so no.
Oh, because there is an entire argument about.
Well, yeah, the Chinese had gunpowder before that.
No, yeah, we're talking about Anglo-Saxon, Roman, medieval.
Europe. Anglo-Saxons. Very niche.
You're welcome. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I included my people. I wouldn't even say Europe. I'd say Europe and North Africa and Middle East. Because that's medieval.
North African?
Depending on what you believe, yes.
Okay.
That's what that goes back to. Depending on what you believe, yes.
This is a really interesting side topic that I don't think we should address.
Because welcome to the next 3 hours of your life. You will never get back.
I don't have that time right now.
Yeah, because you ran into a hurricane on the way here.
It was bad.
And you dropped a yacht.
Yeah. Well, yacht and hurricane.
Yacht and hurricane. Never a good thing. But I digress. So, you sent me a text message earlier, and I found this very interesting. Your tagline of this entire show that you're going to have to change after next Tuesday is Vote Gold, Vote JoJo 2020.
Yeah.
How is it that I'm the one that I'm like, yep, I'm voting Joe, and you're over here like,
there's some.
I really want to know this now.
There are some philosophical reasons that I'm not sure I'm going to vote in any federal elections. I'm tempted not to.
I'm going to literally start bringing a bottle of Excedrin on the show and sticking it at the end of the table because you are the entire reason I should buy shares in ibuprofen.
Now, that being said, if I do vote in federal elections, there is one person I'm sure I'm going to vote for, and that's JoJo Jorgensen. If you're listening to the show, just go vote for JoJo Jorgensen because nobody else except me is going to not vote.
Nah, I know.
Very few people.
There's a mutual friend of ours on Facebook who's not going to buy. Actually, there's multiple. I've seen multiple people.
Yeah, but they're not listening to this show.
One of them does.
That's terrifying. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
We really want to know who it is.
Actually, I think there's at least 3 people that you and I both know.
Because there is one person that I know that might listen to the show, and they are going to vote, but they're not on Facebook. So.
Oh, and it's that whole catch-22 of like, I don't know. There's 3 of them. One of them will admit to listening to it, and there's 2 more that have never admitted to listening to it, but in conversation, just so happens whatever we just talked about gets brought up.
You're not talking about her.
No.
Okay. You're not talking about Mark. Okay.
Depends on which one.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody who's more anti-DC than you are.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he's actually worked there.
Yes.
He listens to the show.
I can't prove it.
Oh my goodness.
I can't prove it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Interesting.
I really like.
I actually am horrified now. Because I think he had his own radio show for a little while.
It was a side conversation with somebody else, and they were like, so and so said that you guys are like, it was a side conversation with another mutual friend of ours, and the conversation got brought up that there's a lot of people in a certain county that listen to us. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah, I was having this conversation with so and so the other day.
It's not Logan County.
No.
Okay.
South.
Okay.
That there was a lot of people in a major metropolitan area that listened to us. And I was like, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Because it's one of those, we're not Oklahoma, like we talk about Oklahoma politics, but we're totally not Oklahoma specific.
Well, we try not to be.
We spend way more time on the federal level than anything else.
Yeah, which is funny because
you hate the federal level.
I hate federal politics.
Anyway, throughout this conversation, they're like, so and so said you guys are going to be like the voice of the new America. And I was like, hold on. First off, they listen to us. And second off, huh? Because I'm over here literally about to go into a diabolical tirade about politics and baseball and how it combined last night. And I'm just like, don't tell me like people I respect and consider important are listening to us. Please. This is a hobby. This is a hobby where I vent a lot.
The voice of New America.
The new America.
Interesting.
And I was just like, that's interesting. And then somebody else that like I don't necessarily always agree with, who I know is not voting for president too, I've been told listens to us. And I'm not even sure you're friends with them. Because they're more liberal than not.
Okay.
Anyway, I digress. I'll show you afterwards.
Alright. Fascinating talk.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sitting here going, so
It's weird to me because you said New America, and I'm pretty sure that's the title of a magazine.
it is.
Oh dear. Okay. Oh no. No. Okay. Interesting.
It
Fascinating.
is the title of a magazine. It's the title of a magazine that you would agree with way more than I would.
Okay.
Way more than
That's
I would.
interesting. Sorry.
Because I still believe in the federal government. Just not at the level it's at.
My trust has to be earned. What can I say?
I didn't say I trusted it.
Well, you believe in it.
I believe in the
Aren't those
existence
the same
of it.
thing?
No, they're not even close to
You
the
believe in the
same
existence
thing.
of, I mean, yeah, there is a government there.
I believe. And this is where we get in the conversation of the Constitution was hijacked. And anyway, because everybody wants to fall back on, well, the Constitution was hijacked, and if you knew anything about history,
I'm really tempted to start an argument, but let's move on to what we're actually talking
What?
about.
the
Nothing.
Concon was hijacked.
Yeah. I was going to start an argument about the Constitution being a great document. It's not. If you think it is, look at how our elections function. Because that's actually laid out in the Constitution.
Well, here's the problem with the Constitution. The problem with the Constitution is I don't know. I'm trying to put this nicely.
You're trying to narrow it down.
Yeah. The problem with the Constitution is if you understand the origins of it, you understand its flaws. However, if you do not understand the origins of the Constitution, you are predisposed to not comprehending the flaws in the Constitution. And a lot of the flaws in the Constitution is the lack of specifics that was in theory supposed to be left up to the states. In theory. The problem is,
I want to answer around this. It was designed to be a centralist document.
it was designed to be a centralist document. However,
That favors large population states.
yes, but it was also theoretically the compromise in the conception of the Constitution was the fact that the 9th and 10th Amendment were there. Therefore, there was inalienable rights, and everything that wasn't listed was left up to the states. Now, in practicality, did that benefit large population states over small population states? Yes, by a lot. It just did.
Well, who interprets the 9th and 10th Amendments?
The Supreme Court.
The federal government
The
does.
federal government does. Which, this goes back to the previous episodes. We keep crossing over some crap we already said, but it's like the Supreme Court was meant to issue an opinion, not create law. The states theoretically were supposed to have the authority to disagree with the opinion and do whatever they wanted to do anyway. Theoretically.
Theoretically, you might be right, but in all reality, I don't think it was ever actually intended to work that way. I think the Federalists intended for the court to take over.
I don't think the Federalists had that forethought.
I think they did.
Because it took a generation or more.
No.
Once Marshall appointed. And this is how we get back on making every single lawyer have a heart attack that's ever listened to us.
I mean, you have to remember, John Jay was, I think, the first Supreme Court justice.
Yes.
Or the first
Chief
Justice.
John Jay was.
And he wrote the Federalist Papers. He was at least on the byline.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're asking when John Marshall was admitted to the court?
Yeah.
Served as fourth Chief Justice, not necessarily Justice, from 1801 to 1835.
Because Andrew Jackson is as effing flawed as he was. Andrew Jackson was the one that told John Jay to enforce it. Because they ruled the Trail of Tears unconstitutional, and Andrew Jackson said, okay, get your army and enforce it.
Which is basically the argument that the Federalists made. They said the court has no power because they don't have an army and they don't have any money, which is still true today. But
see, and that's
they still run the government.
Yeah, and that's always been my thing of going. If you actually defy let's say, the Supreme Court, not the court system in general. If you defy the Supreme Court, they have no real enforcement arm. It's not like you're defying the ATF that's going to come, shoot your family and your dog. Or the FBI that's going to run a tank through your front doorstep. What?
Just thinking about incidents where they've done that.
Oh, there's been those?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know about that. But
he also served as a Secretary of State under John Adams.
See, every founding fathers test I take tells me I'm John Adams, and I'm like, no.
Maybe that's why I don't like you.
But I'm not. Like, John Adams is a super statist.
I had one call me George Washington. That was the only one that I remember. And I was like, wow, that's stupid. I also was slightly offended that somebody would call me that.
I can see you pulling some Washington kind of shit, though.
I'll take that as a statement of your ignorance rather than an insult.
What was it, Valley Forge? The desertion?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would do that.
You paused before you said Valley Forge. I thought you were going to say Fort Duquesne. I was like, biggest blunder he ever made.
Uh-huh. but he learned from it.
Debatable. No, actually,
No, he
might be
learned
right.
from it.
Because there are actually some writings from the Revolutionary War that say he really didn't do anything, which was the problem. Duquesne got involved and just
Didn't do anything.
he basically started an entire war.
Uh-huh. Washington was real good at starting a fight. Real good. And in all reality, Washington got lucky at Yorktown.
Yeah.
People don't understand that. Like, it was not coordinated. It was not anything. Washington got lucky at, and this is a total side tangent about history, and I promise you in my signature I'm going to rant about politics is coming because it involves Dodger baseball. But Washington got lucky at Yorktown. Washington was basically bombing the shit out of Cornwallis at Yorktown, expecting him to run to the sea.
Yeah.
Looks up, sees a fleet, goes to open fire on the fleet, and figures out it's the French.
Yeah.
They're there to help. That beat the British there and blockaded them out. Like, Washington got lucky. There was a lot of luck involved in Yorktown. That effectively ended the war until 1812. Anyway, I digress. Uh-oh. There's one. How far are we in this? 21 minutes. It took me 21 minutes to yawn.
21 minutes. We're already 21 minutes in. We didn't even focus.
Focus. Squirrel! Do you believe Atlantis had gunpowder?
Oh my gosh.
No, really, you're not going to vote early?
No, I'll be around on Tuesday. What?
I don't like.
It's a rural county. There are more people voting early than there are people voting on time.
Okay, I believe that.
Like I'm not.
Yeah, no, I don't live in a rural county anymore.
Well, that's true until about 5:30, and then you might have like 20 people online.
I'm just saying, I don't want COVID.
Okay. I'm glad I can laugh after you say that because most people, it's kind of like, are they serious?
Is this culturally appropriate? Meanwhile, okay.
I had family. Oh my gosh.
Oh, do tell.
I had family. I had family in state this week from out of state, like California, Oregon, Washington.
Left coast.
Out
I mean,
there.
West Coast.
Out there.
Good people.
Out there.
People I get along with.
It was really interesting to see which of them were wearing masks and which of them weren't, and which ones were wearing face shields, like the actual plexiglass face shields. I was like, and this was all for a wedding.
Oh my god.
And it was like, are you
So,
really?
so I've decided if somebody forced me to wear something, I would legit wear a face shield over a mask. Because I could have something on my forehead.
I've thought of this. I would probably wear a welding mask.
Oh, yeah.
Because technically that meets the requirements.
Yeah, it does. I'm just saying, like, I could stand something pushing on my forehead like a face shield.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, like, this mask thing is not gonna fly with me.
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have any. No, I don't have any.
I'm
helmets.
just gonna go get a stormtrooper mask.
I was gonna say I don't have any helmets that would work. I have a motorcycle helmet, but that's not.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think you can get.
I'm probably gonna get a shitty email because I just hung that and it's copyrighted.
No, it's in a different case.
I'm surprised you can tell it.
You can get masks like helmets online.
Yeah.
Resemble certain characters. I might do that.
I would just end up wearing a Guy Fawkes mask everywhere. And, yeah.
No comment.
Yeah. Only my Star Wars cup. That's the entire reason I bought that cup. That's gotta sound fun.
What are you talking about?
There's a Death Star scene. And they all have stainless steel, like,
Oh, okay.
that's the entire reason I bought these.
Okay.
They're totally pointless. Like, they only hold like 19 ounces.
Okay.
But it was like, oh my god, that's one of the cups from Star Wars.
Huh.
Sorry. Star Wars. See, this is why we need a Star Wars podcast.
We,
The problem is,
we don't need another podcast. Not yet.
oh my god, I started 2 more last week, and I'm like, why did I do this to myself?
Started 2 more.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Yeah. Good luck.
yeah.
I'm not volunteering. I'll probably get roped in eventually, but I'm not volunteering.
I really want to rope you on one of them because not like full time, but like half and half.
I can consult.
Well, the problem is, I want my wife to do it with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great. You've seen our kids' sleeping habits.
True. You'd have to do that like at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. And my son wakes up at like 0600. Just
Just put it on the podcast.
no. Because my son is currently going through the screeching phase, and it sounds like a fire alarm. But that's all I'm saying. It sounds like a fire alarm going off. So I'm voting for JoJo. The rest of my votes will be hidden from the public.
Are you voting for any Republicans?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Hold on.
Okay, don't vote for that one. Which congressional district are you? You're in Lucas.
I'm in 3.
Lucas?
Yeah.
Okay. State rep. Is that what you're voting Republican on?
Hold on. I gotta go like figure it out.
It's the Oklahoma voter portal.
Yeah, that's what I'm at.
Okay.
Just like,
Type in your name and your birthday.
oh, thanks.
There you go.
Polling place sample ballots. View ballot. Hey, I can vote straight party.
Oh, no, well, I mean, yeah, but it won't get the results you want. You could.
Yes, I am voting for a
Did we
Republican.
talk about the weird symbols that they have
Yeah,
for the
I
parties?
know. We did.
Like the Libertarian makes sense. The Republican is like really awkwardly patriotic and federal and whatnot. And then the Democrats are just like.
It makes sense in Oklahoma. Like it dawned on me today. Go back to FDR Democrats. It makes sense.
Okay, maybe.
Yeah, I am voting for a Republican.
What level? If you don't mind me asking. You don't have to
State level.
State level.
Because I genuinely like the guy.
Local legislature.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't think he's done a bad job.
Right.
I really don't. Like, so, I mean, I'm beating him on the bus. I'm voting for Todd Hyatt.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
for corporation
He's a
commissioner.
nice guy. I don't think I made him a monitor. I'm going to vote for it there. It might be Todd Hyatt. I don't know.
Like, Todd Hyatt has not done anything reprehensible or reproachable that I know of.
He's on the corporation commission.
Like, and he's
It's hard to get.
he's done his job. No.
It's hard to get notice for actual policy there.
I'll agree to disagree on that one.
Okay. I'm talking about Anthony.
That's one of them.
Okay.
I think that. Okay, there is a race I have not decided yet. And then my state, I'm going to vote. My state senator, I'm going to vote Republican. Everything else was decided for me in the primary.
I don't think I have anybody running for representative or senate in my county. I think those are running for those.
Like, granted, my state senator is a joke. Like, it's a joke of a decision, but like Republican.
Is it more of a joke than the presidential election?
Yes.
Okay. Like there's nobody running that's qualified? Or there's only one person that's running that's qualified?
No, there's nobody really running that's qualified because the Republican is this much better than the Democrat. Like he's total like hold your arm down, force it, never mind.
And you don't have a third option.
No, I got Republican or Democrat.
Maybe you should ask JoJo if she'll move.
It's just like my state rep spot. Yeah.
Oklahoma, unfortunately, Oklahoma, I don't think would ever elect a PhD.
Holy crap.
What? What?
As of right now.
Yeah.
And mind you, 2 years ago, I was the chairman of a Republican Party.
Mm-hmm. You're voting for 2, 3 Democrats. So you have all these options. And
I'm voting for one. Okay, Libertarian, Republican.
Did you see the Jim?
Crap, I need like a piece of paper.
Did you see the Jim Inhofe ad where he was talking about if you like socialist policy, you should vote for one of my opponents, or any one of my opponents?
Yeah,
What he said. One of them is a libertarian.
And I'm gonna catch all sorts of hell from my Republican friends for this. I will never vote for Jim Inhofe the rest of my life. Like, the man is legitimately senile. Sorry, like, I saw him 4 months ago. He didn't know what room he's in.
Yeah, I think I've heard I think I've heard the same speech from Inhofe maybe 4 different times at 3 different events. Like one of them, he gave the same speech twice because I think he just has the same speech memorized, and he just never changes it because he can't remember who he was talking to.
Do you have a pen?
I don't think in a second.
Okay. Everybody watching on camera is like, what in the heck is going on over there? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out who I'm voting for.
I have pencils.
That works.
Title opinion attorneys are probably the only people that carry pencils in everyone.
Oh, look, it's my wife's Cincy order form. Cool. Shouldn't need all those. Shouldn't go sell that much.
Does she use those?
What, Cincy?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's now an authorized Cincy rep.
If she
Oh, God.
if she uses them, I might be interested in the old wax. Not the new stuff, just the old stuff, like her wigs.
There's a box behind me with 400 samples. Have at it.
I don't want to buy anything. I don't want to cost her anything either.
Half of them smell like ass anyway.
Okay, that's actually true. I don't really like Sensi stuff.
I don't know how she got talked into it to begin with.
I do.
It's multi-level marketing. It's literally a pyramid scheme.
I've been involved in that almost before.
Okay. One. What?
Just your system of counting is just so advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought you use hash marks to count which party you're voting for?
See, I'm a moderate. Like, by definition, I'm a moderate.
You're multi-partisan.
I'm. Take your damn pencil. I'm multi-partisan.
Does that make you non-partisan or?
I'm literally non-partisan. Like, I'm the definition of
Are
non-partisan.
you voting for any independents? I might vote for an independent.
I don't have any besides Kanye.
Is there not? Oh.
Oh, I take it back. I've got Senate options.
You should have one. It's either in representative or
It's U.S. Senate.
is it the Senate?
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
Senate has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people running.
Because Inhofe has 4 opponents.
Yeah.
Which covers.
And then I've got
both major parties and one other person.
Kanye. I might vote for Kanye for president. I'm kidding, I'm not, but I really can't wait to see how many people vote for Kanye for president.
I thought about it for all of about 5 seconds.
In all fairness, hear me out on this. Kanye West is the most ideologically close to you person on the ballot. 100%.
I'm not sure he has an ideology.
Oh, he does. Like, I'm not kidding. When I say if there's one person I've ever met that should vote for Kanye based off his party and his
Is he in
stance,
favor of Texas?
huh?
Is he in favor of Texas? Maybe. Ooh.
I'm
gonna
telling
have to
you,
research
like
Kanye
you
now.
need to go look at Kanye because if there's one person I know that should vote for Kanye West, it's you.
I don't think we've actually talked much about Kanye on this show.
That's because Kanye running for president is
I'm surprised he's running against Donald Trump. Didn't he support Donald Trump?
he's
on the last-
Donald Trump's friend.
Yeah.
I have an entire chess game theory behind why he's doing it.
Do you think he's running to pull votes away from Joe Jorgensen?
I think he's trying to pull votes away from Joe Biden.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
And there's entire socio-economic race issue there. Because if you walk in and so black voters have been historically Democrat voters, right?
Yeah.
They walk in, they see Kanye West on the ballot. It pulls votes from Biden. I don't think Trump cares about JoJo.
Kanye 2020.country.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Kanye running for office is the greatest thing ever to ever happen. And then let's see. Let's go down to this question. No.
Oh my gosh. Kanye 2020 vision. Double layered hoodie. $160.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't even pay $30 for a Make America Great Again hat.
Do you want one?
No.
I had like
Maybe.
15 people give me one.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean. it's
Okay,
just something
okay.
that-
I'm gonna ask you. I gotta know this. State questions. How are you voting on state questions? 805.
Oh man. The is it 814 or 815?
814.
814. That one I don't know because
You don't like the language.
no, it's not even that. It's actually the concept that I don't know how I feel about it. I hate TSET.
Everybody hates TSET.
But the alternative is taking their money and giving it to the legislature, and I hate the Oklahoma legislature. Maybe even more than TSET.
I'm voting this on
Like that's the biggest argument. That's the best argument I've ever heard anybody give in Oklahoma against like secessionism or Oklahoma or whatever you want to call it. The Oklahoma legislature sucks.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
That's what I'm like. That's what, you asked me about state senate. Am I voting for a Republican? Yes, I am. But I'm like,
I will say this, and I'm really worried about the people that are listening to this podcast if they actually know me. The Democrats actually did a decent job of running state government. They at least had their roads paved. And Republicans don't seem capable of doing that, which is really, really, number one, unfortunate, and number two, kind of funny because the Republicans always talk about Democrat corruption and Democrat inefficiency. Like, the Republicans are not capable of balancing a budget.
Republicans in Oklahoma, for the most part, are very, very lazy.
Yeah,
Like, sorry, they are.
yeah.
Well, I won, and I'm the state senator, and I'm the state representative, and I'm going to go to the country club, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to speak, and I'm going to get the fundraisers, and I'm going to go back and sit on my ass and do nothing at the Capitol.
Well, I have heard it said, and I heard this actually years ago, and I didn't realize how true it was until I actually ran for office. The Republican caucus in the state legislature is basically just a club of retired men.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Old, white, gray, retired.
And there's a lot of them that have a serious alcohol problem.
Yeah, which is funny because our Constitution actually provides for removal in that case.
Like, if people don't get it, and I guarantee you go to most state legislatures, it's pretty close to the same. There's a lot of alcoholism rampant in state
Have you
legislatures.
read the provision for I think it's like a good behavior provision for Oklahoma?
Yeah,
legislature-
it's basically
legislature.
drunkenness on the floor.
No, it's broader than that. It's just drunkenness. It's like bad behavior, and I don't think it's limited to the building or to their office or to their to the floor.
Wow. was a state senator. Casey
Yeah.
Murdoch.
No. Wrong one.
No, who was before Murdoch?
Do you want me to answer, or do you want to come up with it on your own?
I can see his face in my head.
It's actually kind of a tragic story because I talked to his friends, and they say he wasn't like that before he got there.
No, he wasn't. Because Casey's the one that won his seat. Casey's the one that made the ribeye the state steak. Because that was important. Oh my
I think
god.
that was in the midst of the teacher walkout too.
Yes, it was.
He did that. Do you want his name, or do you want to come up with it on your own?
I keep wanting to say Blake.
No.
What was his name?
Bryce.
Bryce Marlette. He was like it's like 12 degrees outside and I still have allergies. Like this is why I hate Oklahoma some days. Okay. Side story, baseball story. This is the entire reason we're gonna do this podcast. Because my worlds combined last night. Justin Turner is the third baseman. He's 35 years old. He's the third baseman of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Manny Machado, you can suck on a hard one, and you owe us your paycheck because you made that bet. Anyway, I digress. Justin Turner, awesome dude. Really freaking awesome dude. Quiet dude. Just broke the record for home runs and hit in the World Series. Like, Justin Turner is a freaking amazing human being. Great dad, etc., etc., etc. Last night, as I'm watching the World Series, Game 6, the middle of like he is one of the key aspects to why they won the World Series. Backstory to Justin Turner. Justin Turner grew up in Long Beach, a suburb of LA, as a diehard Dodger fan.
Yeah.
And he had some rocky spots, some rough spots in the majors, and almost got out. Like, almost left Major League Baseball. Got picked up by the Dodgers, became the starting third baseman. Like, the man was living the dream. Like, the dream I wish I could live. Like, you're talking about you grew up as this team's fan.
Yeah.
And now you have a chance to play for him. In the middle of the seventh inning, at Game 6, they all of a sudden pulled Justin Turner. Nobody knows why. Nobody can figure out why. Anyway, like, middle ninth, early ninth, between 8th and 9th inning, it comes out on TV that Justin Turner tested positive for COVID. MLB, yada, yada, yada. Put him in isolation, and to be quite frank, he looked up, and, you know, the Dodgers go on to win the series, win the game, win the series. They're celebrating. Justin Turner's back out in the field. I'm like, you know, false positive. Turns out it wasn't a fucking false positive. It was real positive.
Yeah.
He's been in a dugout in the quote-unquote baseball bubble with all these people for a month now.
Yep.
And now Major League Baseball has launched this massive investigation into Justin Turner violating safety protocols. One, Manfred, the commissioner of baseball, is a fucking dyke. Like, he's a douchebag on a good day. And I cannot stand the man because the Astros robbed us of a World Series in 17. The Red Sox robbed us of a World Series in 18. They both fucking cheated, and Manfred doesn't have the balls to stand up to him because he's too afraid to hurt somebody's feelings. Number two, Manfred was most likely intoxicated or impaired during the trophy presentation last night because he was slurring words worse than I've seen a hooker in a bar do. That being said, Justin Turner, who grew up a Dodger fan his entire life, gets the chance to play for the Los Angeles Dodgers, win a World Series for the first time since 1988, and he's 35. So he was, I mean, I'm about to be 30, which means he was 3 when the Dodgers last won their series. The man's going to walk, like, I wholeheartedly am like, for the man looking at MLB security and saying, fuck yourself, I'm going out in that field.
Yeah.
Well, he was a positive. It became a super spreader event. Listen here, you dumb shits. In case you don't know this, in baseball, you are literally nut to butt with everybody else in a freaking dugout all the time. And this bubble, they've all been staying in the same hotel. They've all been staying right next to each other. Every other he is coming into contact with every single person he was gonna. Well, what about the kids? The kids had to be in the bubble to be there.
Yeah.
So now Major League Baseball, Manfred, fuck you. as a diehard Dodgers fan, I'm never gonna get over 2017 because the Astros cheated and they admitted to it, and he still won't strip their title.
Yeah.
And then magically, the people that left the Astros went to the Red Sox the next year. The next year, guess who we lost to in the World Series? The Red Sox. Oh, and you don't understand why I get this pissed about baseball. But now baseball has combined with politics and just pissed me off because Twitter is going like I had some imbecile on Twitter today say they should find the Dodgers $20 million and suspend Justin Turner for a year. One, and I literally tweeted him back. I'm like, that's the dumbest shit I've read all year, and it's 2020.
Yeah.
And he goes and takes a screenshot. And he goes, "Oh yeah, is this you of me saying if you're not paying me, I'm not wearing a mask?" I'm like, "Yep," and I still stand by it too. Like, you're not gonna back me into a fucking corner.
Yeah.
Unless you're wearing an N95 mask or higher, your safety equivalent of stopping a virus is about as good as a broken condom at preventing pregnancy. You're wearing it to make yourself feel good, not because it actually does anything. So this man, who is 35 years old, who has dreamed of this moment his entire life, gets the chance. They win the series as he's the person that broke a record for the most home runs in a World Series ever. And you're going to come out and say, well, Major League Baseball, he should be kicked out of the game. Get fucking bent. Get bent. Because everybody was around Justin Turner. Everybody had been around Justin Turner. COVID tests are a joke anyway, because I got 5 inconclusives in 5 days and then finally got a negative.
Oh, I have a relative that got a positive 1 hour and she got tested the next hour and it was a negative.
Like, COVID tests, how did you let him go into the game? He literally, everyone's like, oh, well, and you said it too. Anybody outside of sports was like, yeah, he didn't get to play the game. No, he got to play the game. Yeah. He damn near hit a homer in like the 5th or 6th inning.
Yeah.
He was there till the middle of the 7th, and all of a sudden gets pulled, and now everybody's losing their shit because, oh my God, he had COVID, and he came back out in the field after a positive test, and it could be a super spreader event. Listen to me. I played baseball. I've been in dugouts.
Yeah.
You're literally 18 inches to 2 feet away from each other all the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're sitting up with a fence watching the game.
Well, and if he's been following policy, he's been in the same hotel with all of these people the entire time.
Yes, which goes back to the bubble mentality of going, so if you really have a bubble, how did somebody get a positive test in the bubble?
Yeah.
Now, the other side of that is, do you blame the guy? Seriously, it's his entire life he's been waiting on. This moment for his entire life, and he got to be a part of it. Not only be a part of it, but a major contributor to it. When he walked back out in the field, I didn't give a shit if he had COVID or not. You know why? Because that was his entire dream, his entire life, and the Dodgers just won the first series in 23 years. Technically 22, but 23 years. And you're walking back out there and you're like, well, he tested positive. He also was, if he tested positive and you figure it out in the middle of the 7th inning, guess what? He'd been positive the entire fucking game. Yeah. He'd been positive that probably the last 3 to 5 days.
At that point, there's no reason.
At that point, let the man go celebrate. Major League Baseball, you won't let people pop champagne after they've been that close. I'm not kidding. They would not let them pop champagne. Like, it was part of Major League Baseball's policy that they would not let them do champagne. I would have walked, like, I swear to God, I almost bought tickets to Game 6, and I wish I would have. Because I would have figured out a way to smuggle in a bottle of Dom Perignon and walk up and hand it to, especially now, hand it to Justin Turner or Mookie Betts. Like, just to be like, or Clayton Kershaw, because Clayton Kershaw deserves that more than anybody else. Or Max Muncy, be like, here's your champagne, bro. Like, for real. Rob Manfred has totally fucked the game of baseball so hard. It's insane. He let cheating go on. He let cheating go on 2 years in a row. Won't strip anybody of the titles. And now they're going to come after Justin Turner after he just broke his. Well, it was blatant disregard for everybody's safety. You idiots! He'd been in the dugout. He'd been in the bubble. Every single person around him had already been around him for the last month. Are you kidding me? And you're going to come at Justin Turner after he just made history for the most home runs in a World Series, and you're going to look at him and be like, well, and then some freaking cuck on Facebook or on Twitter wants to be fine the Dodgers $20 million and suspend Justin Turner for a year. He's 35 years old. He's going to be 36. There's no Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball only lasts so long. So you're going to tell him to take off a year and suspend him for a year and possibly lose the best years of his career in Major League Baseball because you want to be a cuck? Get fucking bent.
You want my favorite part of the story?
Sure.
So I don't know a lot about how MLB contracts work, but
he's a free agent.
He became a free agent the second the game was over.
Yep.
The thing that they're all mad about happened after the game was over.
True. He's a free agent.
So, number one, you can't find the Dodgers.
No, you can't.
And I'm not sure you can find him. I mean, even if you did, does he have to pay it?
I literally said this today. I hope Manfred finds him. And Justin Turner won't do this because Justin Turner's a good guy. He's a quiet guy. He won't do this. If I was in JT's shoes right now and Manfred fined me, I would literally write the check live on Twitter while flipping the camera off and hold it up to the camera and be like, it was worth it. I'd do it again. And put the check in the you cannot come at Justin Turner for this because if you know the dynamics of baseball at all, anybody around him through the first 7.5 innings until he got pulled already got exposed.
Yeah.
Let the man go celebrate something that hasn't happened in 22 years. Sorry, 32 years. Sorry, 32. Forgot I got old.
Well, my question is, does he have a contract with MLB?
Ish, yeah.
When
because
does that contract begin and end?
Well, because they agreed to prior to the 2020 season, they all agreed to the protocol for infected. Granted,
that they agreed to it. That doesn't necessarily make it a contract.
I know, and this is going to be the whole thing. Will the players' union stick up for him? Because there is a players' union.
They probably won't. Unions never do.
Well, surprisingly, in sports, they do.
Really?
The problem is COVID is such a touchy issue. I would tell a COVID joke, but 98.5 of you wouldn't get it. It's just that's the problem is going, even if he's positive and he's asymptomatic positive, the likelihood of somebody else, it's just,
yeah.
I'm annoyed. Because this is my political pet peeve, and it's also Dodger baseball.
Yeah.
And I really, 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 really hope they re-sign Justin Turner because I love Justin Turner. The dude's phenomenal. He's a phenomenal baseball player. And he's a quiet guy, he's a respectable guy, and it's just he's a good guy. And then I see this crap like this. Kick him out of baseball and find the Dodgers $20 million. Whatever.
If I were him and they tried to find me, what my response would be, no.
No.
You can sue me.
Sue me. But Justin Turner's not like that.
I know.
He's not that guy. That being said, he worked for this his entire life.
Yeah.
35 years of being a fan and being a player. And you work to that point, and you get that moment in time, and it's very rare, especially Major League Sports, to where you get to go win a title with the with the team that you grew up being a fan of.
Yeah.
He did it. The man grew up 15 miles from Dodger Stadium. He literally is that Cinderella story, and not only is he the Cinderella story, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's not some douche canoe, Manny Machado, that walks in the front door is oh, I'm going to win this World Series and bounces after 3 years like a pussy and goes signs with your rivals. Not that I'm still pissed about that. When Machado signed with the Padres. Okay, the Giants and the Padres are the Dodgers' arch rivals, right? When Machado signed with the Padres, he signed some asinine freaking deal. And said he literally said, I bet my contract will win the World Series before they will, talking about the Dodgers. So what has every Dodger fan been saying for the last 24 hours? Pay up.
Yeah.
Oh, 55 minutes.
Okay.
I'm done with my rant.
Okay.
And I said the F word more times this podcast than I meant to. Oh well.
You mad, bro?
Yes, I'm mad. I'm fucking pissed. And I realized I'm voting for 2 Republicans, 2 Democrats, and a Libertarian.
I don't know how I'm voting on 805.
I don't think it's
Probably voting yes. I haven't actually read I've read the ballot measure. I haven't read the actual text of the.
Say what? The actual amendment.
Which, if you're in Oklahoma and you think you're actually voting on the amendment, you're not reading the amendment before you vote on it.
Yeah, you're not.
That's not what that is.
I'm just saying, how do you hate? Never mind. I'm done.
How do I?
I'm done talking about Justin Turner. He's got a positive COVID test. Throw him at a baseball. Throw you out a window. That was hearsay. It's all the legal experts out there. He just threatened me. I'm gonna go to the police. What?
I'm just thinking of defenestration, but don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
You know what that is?
No.
Oh. I'm disappointed a good Catholic doesn't know what that is.
I didn't even actually hear you because I couldn't.
You're so mad.
I really am mad. I put that kind of hard echoed in my headphones, and I'm like, yeah, huh?
Defenestration. Throwing people out of windows.
Yeah.
You know what that is?
I know it is in a medieval context.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. As long as we're still talking about that.
Yeah, that's why Catholics should know what that is.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
We don't talk about those things.
Okay. I was surprised.
How does Major League Baseball have the balls to look up at a guy who worked his entire life for this after you let the Astros cheat, you let the Red Sox cheat, and you're going to be like, oh, he walked out in the field without a mask. Get bit, Manfred. Fucking mask mandate. Even he had a medical mask. Screw your tagline. I'm done.
Focal, JoJo 2020.
The Dodgers won the series. That's all that matters. Fair and square this time, Manfred. Good for you, Justin Turner. You deserved it. Are you she better be hot. That's all I'm saying.
Mind your business.
Where can people find you on social media that you haven't been banned on yet?
I won't say my tagline again. I'm on the Twitter at the Lucas Cohen. Don't spit beer on my iPad. That's not beer, is it? That's tea.
That's
Is that
tea.
tea? That's tea.
I quit drinking
Yeah, I forgot about that.
because I like sweet tea and you like unsweet tea, and this is why we can never agree on teas.
I bet we could agree. Gold Peak.
Gold Peak, yeah.
Gold Peak.
Gold Peak.
It's hard to be Gold Peak.
Hey, you know where Gold Peak's from?
LA.
California.
People in Oklahoma talk about Red Diamond. And
I don't get it.
I don't.
Just like Milo's, I don't get it.
People talk about Milo.
Yes, Milo. Yes.
I bought Milo's once because it was the cheapest thing in there. I was like,
It's
this is
awful.
terrible.
Anyway,
There's a reason I don't buy Gold Peak though.
why?
It's expensive.
Yeah,
It's good though. So
it's California leaves.
do your thing.
I'm on every other social media because I haven't been banned yet, like some people. Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, everything. Greg Jangle, Jerry G, J, I, and Jilly. This podcast is also on everywhere you can find a podcast, including Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, Overcast, etc. If you find some place that you cannot find this podcast on, send me a direct message on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever you decide to use, and I will go get it put on there. That being said, Justin Turner was right. The Los Angeles Dodgers are World Series champions for the first time in my lifetime, and I'm ecstatic over it. Suck it, Houston. And last but not least, fall for nothing, question everything, and be prepared for anything. Till Valhalla, guys. Bye.